Teenagers will be eligible to get their third vaccine dose this Friday. For more, let's go live to CP24's Christina Tenalia for the details. So, Christina, is there going to be a wait list? Can people walk in to get this? How will this work?
Well, there often is a wait list, but to give you some perspective, those between the ages of 12 to 17 can go online on the provincial booking system as of Friday at 8 a.m., or they can book through their participating pharmacies, for the Pfizer vaccine. And this is for the booster shot for those 12 to 17. Now, back in January, NACI, the National Advisory Committee on Immunization, recommended the third COVID-19 shot, the booster shot, for those in that age group, particularly for the most vulnerable members in that age group. So we want to get some reaction. I'm going to introduce Dr. Dina Kulik, who is behind one group known as Kids Crew. Dr. Dina, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
So I want to get your perspective on this, because while the booster is at least recommended here in Ontario and recommended by NACI, the World Health Organization also said back in January that they didn't have enough information yet to determine whether or not it's really necessary, that is, sorry, it's a cold day, whether it's really necessary for those between the ages of 12 to 17. So what would you advise parents?
We now have a lot more data that we have waning immunity from Omicron and other variants as well. So we know that after around 6 months, most of us don't have a ton of antibodies left anymore. And that's why, as adults, we get that third dose. And even some adults are getting a fourth dose at this point if they have immune-related issues. And maybe we'll all be getting fourth doses, who knows if after that, fifth, sixth, etc. But we know that around 6 months, we start to decrease our immunity from the vaccine. And so many children, teenagers, received their last dose more than 6 months ago. They had it, let's say, in the summer, and now their immunity might be low enough that could increase their risk of getting COVID-19. So we want to make sure that they're bumped up with a booster dose.
Dr. Kulik, if a parent says, I get it's recommended and I get what you're saying, but is it absolutely necessary? What would you say?
Well, it's the same reason why you got your kid vaccinated in the first place. You wanted to protect them from severe illness, hospitalizations, and death from COVID-19. If the vaccine immunity is now waning, the same reason would apply to get the booster. If you want your child to remain protected, they need to be boosted, or they won't have enough immunity to prevent those severe outcomes from COVID.
Dr. Kulik, one of the main questions we've received at CP24 in the last little while is when kids between the ages of 12 to 17 would be eligible for the booster shot. At your practice, are you getting a lot of those questions, or was there a lot of enthusiasm or more hesitancy?
No, most of the families that we see at Kid Crew are very eager to get them boosted, just as they were eager to get them their first and then their second shots. And I am hearing from a lot of concerned families that are seeing what we're seeing in adults and teens, which is this waning immunity, and they have been very eagerly anticipating when we might be able to offer their children their booster dose.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Dina Kulik of Kid Crew. I apologize, I said Kids Crew off the top. We appreciate your time, and thank you for sharing your analysis and your perspective with us.
You're welcome. Stay well.
You as well, Dr. Dina. Thank you. So, Bakari, one other point I want to point out in terms of some of the questions you asked off the top and what parents need to know. So you must be 12 for when you go to your appointment for the booster. Can't be, 11 and a half or close to 12. You have to be 12. Also, you have to be, in terms of the time period, when you go for your appointment, it has to be at least 6 months from when you received your second dose. Bakari, back to you.
Christina, thank you very much for that update on age and time limit. Thanks a lot. CP24's Christina Tenalia.